We're going to call this Seidokan Saturday A, adjunct edition. Now that we have learned Seisan, Pinyaniran, and are working Anaku, 3 kata under the belt by 8th kyu, a couple of explanations. Again, on my belt ranking structure, by having the 10 kyu ranks as opposed to 6 or 8 or anything else, a couple of things happen. Number one, we start with 10 kyu, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then we hit the dan or black belt ranks. Yudansha goes first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and on up through the degrees. So there's a little bit of an hourglass parity, an inverted pyramid parity there. Secondly, it gives us 1 kata per rank that we can learn and then begin to work on. As we now have 3 kata, this is the note that I really wanted to get to. Don't always do kata the same way. So when I have performed or demonstrated the kata in the videos of the rank structure that I've done, or if you go to my Kinko Shinkai YouTube channel or any of the other combinations of things, if you look at those, you will see me doing kata in a particular way. I don't always practice it the exact same way as what I've done it on the videos. Why? Sometimes, for instance, let's take Anaku, right? We begin Anaku. Sometimes I'll just run through the kata normal-ish, what I would call normal, the way we might do our stances, strikes, rhythm, everything by the count in class. But what if I want to work on making my kata stronger or more grounded? Then in that case, I might come way down in terms of my stances, make them much longer and lower for leg strengthening, for conditioning, for exercise, but also for the grounded strength that it adds when I'm in a more natural, upright stance. There are even styles of karate where the stances are very upright. There's hardly any real bend in the knees. It's much more narrow, close, what I would call fighting style kata. So we can do everything from the super deep to the very upright and anything in between, depending on whether I'm working on fighting or exercise. Secondly, I don't like to use the term perform the kata. This is what you might see, or what you will have seen if you watch the Olympic or competitive style karate, where it's a lot of set, whip, and the emphasis here is on snap and speed. So there are a lot of ways to practice / perform kata. Don't just run through it by the counts. Another one, let's go back to Pinyaniran, for example. Do it to the side, where we're coming down the middle. If you're in, and I think I mentioned this, if we're in Japanese karate, it's very much 1, 1, 2. And there's a set rhythm to it. Or on the first direction, 1, 1, 2. And we perform it in that rhythm. It wouldn't be totally wrong, and I once saw Ishinryu Sensei Nick Adler talk about fighting kata, where it really is ugly. It's not something you would ever want to show. But for personal practice, if I'm doing those 3 punches or 3 blocks, I might just go very sloppy-ish, really. Less sloppy if I've laid a good foundation of practice first, but still my emphasis is on getting there and throwing the punches, not on how pretty I look or how strong, okay? So don't always do kata the same way. Change the rhythm. Change, like I mentioned in the Saturday, Seidokan Saturday vlog 75, change where you do the kiai. Change how you picture it. I still recall several years ago when I was at Juan Carvajal's event in Bakersfield, and there's a particular block where the bow comes across the body this way. Now, typically, if I'm just running through the kata, the bow moves as a unit. But there's also a version where it comes 1-2. He asked me and several others, because he noticed the difference, as we all did our kata, and the differences are acceptable. But he noticed the difference and said, Mr. Schumacher, show us how you do it. And I had previously been doing the single before I went in, and he said, show us how you do it. And I did with the upper and the lower follow. And he said, wait, that's not how you did it before. And I told him, because I don't always do it the same. I do it according to what I'm picturing defensively or practically in my mind. If I'm working on a sweeping movement, then I'll do it 1-2. If I'm just blocking another attack from sword, bow, whatever, boom, then I'll move it all as 1. Okay? So even with bow kata, empty hand, and especially now that we have 3 kata under our belt, it's important to not get stuck in a rhythm. The same thing happens as an actor, which I did for years, when you're memorizing a line. It's easy to, as you memorize a line, get stuck in a line reading. And so how you memorize can sort of block off other potential interpretations of a line. Saying something as simple as, is it time for dinner yet? Memorize the line. Is it time for dinner yet? Is it time for dinner yet? Same inflection, same inflection. As opposed to, is it time for dinner yet? Is it time for dinner? There are lots of ways to interpret anything. Listen to 4 different piano players play the exact same classical piece of music, different. You can learn by intentionally working lower, working faster and higher, working sloppy, working precision, working snap, all sorts of things. Kick higher, kick lower, change the target, block, punch, punch. Where am I going to kick him now? Shin? Okay. Groin? Okay. Chin? Okay. Where I punch him stays the same in terms of the kata base performance, but I might change that too. How do you think different versions of kata came to be? There are some pasai where we go here. There are some pasai where they strike here. There are even pasai where they strike here. There are pasai that have been changed into 2 blocks. Why the different versions? Because within the framework of the kata, we're seeing different fighting applications, different concepts and principles that we can use to improve our own motion, movement, balance, and all of those things. So that's the tip for the day, adjunct to Seidokan Saturday. Thanks for listening to my diatribe again, and as always, keep practicing.